they fight and they are disabled after coming back, the service don't longer integrate them very well. What are the things they get? Are they insured? Are they given hazard allowances and also of other things? So these are the things, Mr. President, because one thing why I was very happy with President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, GCFR, Jagaban Borgo was, he was 8-year, 2-term governor of Lagos State. Within the year from 1999 till 2007, he sustained and ensured security in all parts of Lagos, from Ibejuleki to Ajah to Badagry to Amuwo Odofin to Ilukweju to Ikorodu to Oworoshoki to Alaba International, Alaba Rago, Isalego, Oshodi, Mushin, and other parts of Lagos State. How did he do that? Encouragement and welfare. Even though we know as governor of a state, you are just chief security officer. The chunk of it lies with the president and commander-in-chief. Then, with Obasanjo as president and commander-in-chief, he never waited. He complemented the efforts of the security agencies like the Army, Navy, Air Force, Police, DSS, Civil Defense, Immigration, Prison Service, and also of others, where periodically they gave them eloxies, gadgets, and also of other welfare packages. So I believe with this morale is boosting now, even though from taking over through democratic election winning, he was able to procure certain security gadgets. You know, in security, it is not everything you say. But beyond that, the officers and men of the armed forces, police, DSS, and others cannot execute the warfare against these non-state actors like ISIS, ISWAF, Boko Haram, bandits, and also with empty stomach. Their welfare needed to take, especially the rank and file and other ranks, need to be taken into consideration, including the commission officers. Because if somebody is carrying out onslaught and he knows if anything goes maybe like death or injury, whatever, that disables him, there is insurance and hazard that the family can fall on, the morale will be in geometrical terms, not in arithmetical terms. So beyond just buying these gadgets, they need to also capacitate their welfare. Then beyond that, the barrack, look at, like, for example, now, the Inspector General of Police withdrew some numbers of mobile police that were hitherto on escort duty or serving some people that the Constitution did not give them the right to go with them. So those kind of mobile police officers too, in those armed bandit riding areas, in those Boko Haram riding areas, you can establish permanent mobile squadrons there. Because you cannot have mobile police in the Nigerian police force, and you are stressing the Nigerian Army and Air Force, even though we know they have roles to play, because like the Air Force, the air onslaught lies with them, which has been gathering momentum. But the mobile police force, hitherto, we know how they were trained for this kind of things. So it is now left for Inspector General Kayode Egbetokun to restructure them by, even if possible, taking them to Belarus, Russia, and other countries to have capacitated training. Because if you equip the mobile police as well as counter-terrorism unit that wear red beret, that is the essence of bringing them. Do you know that in the Nigerian police force, you have even special forces like the Army and Air Force and Navy that wears overall? The essence of the special forces is to fight terrorism. But what do you find? They are attached to governors, attached to VIP, which ought not to be. So now that we are having shortage of manpower, the constitutional role of internal security lies on the Nigerian police. And when you are talking about the larger specialized squads, it is the police. Police mobile force is there, counter-terrorism unit is there, special forces are there, intelligence response team, special tactical squad, IG monitoring, marine police, border police, air police that flies helicopters, and conventional, as well as others. But what do you see? Even though the IG is trying to bring them now, you see them attached to VIPs, MDs of oil companies, banks, and what have you. Like I always say.
But let me comment at this point. There was a time that an instruction came for the withdrawal of policemen and mobile police from these affluenced people, these big men that used them as guards and all of that. So don't you think that wasn't really implemented? Because we still have, some of them still do this guiding of big men instead of facing the terrorism. Because the reason why I'm saying this is because there are some places. This is a collective effort. Like you said, the president told the people in Katsina that he is talking to them as a concerned Nigerian, someone who is also feeling the heat. As it is, the issue of security boils down to every single Nigerian. Don't you think the withdrawal of these men and rechanneling them to defend the people, the communities, don't you think that instruction that came from the IG is not properly implemented?
Well, before this present IGP, when Sir Mike Okiro himself, a former IGP, was chairman of Police Service Commission, he did mention and call for withdrawal of those officers and men in the hands of those who don't deserve them. It was not implemented. So, but for Kayode Egbetokuna as IGP, from the time he uttered the statement, he mentioned it, I think it has been implemented in proportional way. So there is a progress on, because we are also monitoring it. And like you asked, they are rechanneling into crisis riding and banditry riding. So we go a long way because they are trained in civil way. The police, you see this, they are CID, first CIDSIB. If they are in certain communities, certain movement of bandits and insurgents can be detected, even though the DMI, DNI, DI, that is Director of Air Intelligence, Naval Intelligence, Military Intelligence, they are also doing their best, including the DSS, in gathering intelligence. And there is improvement of synergy in intelligence gathering and sharing. But beyond that, when you come to the police, no matter how rural a place is, you find police outposts there. But that outpost that is there, do they have the sophisticated CID there? No. Do they have the sophisticated SIB there? No. So the issues are, they are supposed to have the larger structure across the country, going by their constitutional provision, but these things are not there. So our hope is that now that the IG is withdrawing them, they should post them to areas like Benue, Yobe, Maiduguri, Katsina, Zamfara, Niger, Kwara. I'll give you an example now. When the Mahmuda insurgents wrote letter to some farmers in Kwara North, Kayama local government, Barute local government, in areas like Kainji, Karonze, Nuku, Nanu, Okuta, Ilesha, the ownership, involvement, responsibility of the inhabitants, they transmitted those information to people in Abuja, and it attracted most of the media. The GOC Second Division went to Emir's Palace in Kayama. The governor of Kwara State, Abdurrahman Abdulrazak, went there, followed by the visit of Lieutenant General Oloyede to Ilori, where he gave 1 month ultimatum in Sobi barracks to the army officers and men that go and carry out this onslaught, and I'm giving you 1 month. What am I trying to tell you? Were there not to be that ownership, involvement, citizen role expected of the inhabitants of Kayama, Barutem, and Borgu local government area of Niger State, it wouldn't have been so. So another call I want to make, for example, there are still remnants of Lakurawa bandits in Augi, Arugungu, and Mera areas of Kebbi State. Just yesterday, they struck in Tangaza local government area of Sokoto State, where they even killed vigilantes and what have you. But lukewarm attitude of some of the inhabitants is also correct, because sometimes these people come in disguise and preaching and doing what have you before they turn against them. At that time, they are deceiving you. They have been what have you. Get the information to the security agencies, even though the security agents also have their intel. By and large, at this time, there should be intensified onslaught, both air raids, air onslaught and ground onslaught, as well as check-ins. Then this is the time the force CID operatives, the state CID operatives, the Defense Intelligence Agency operatives, DSS operatives, DMI operatives, Director of Naval Intelligence operative, Director of Air Intelligence operative, including that of Immigration Intelligence, they should be spread across. Because right now, if you go to Tumbus area of Lake Chad, where it's like maritime waters and what have you, at the time they carry out their nefarious activities in Northwest and North Central, where they come and regroup is that Tumbus area of Lake Chad and Mandara Hills. With the naval base in Baga, they are not doing enough. So at this time, some of the marine police. You know, you also have police that are marine police that comb and patrol waterways and what have you. This is the time to also take them to that area, because when they carry out these nefarious activities of armed banditry and insurgency in Northwest and North Central, they regroup, because now they have come together. And don't forget, we have porous borders from Benin Republic to Kwara. We have to Niger through Babana, Chikanda area of Kwara and Niger State. Then in Chad, Gamborungala area is porous. Then in Katsina, Jibia to Niger and what have you. Itato, there used to be multinational task force made up of gendarmes of Chad, Niger and what have you. But when the military took over in Niger and what have you, because of the disagreement, even though our foreign affairs minister, Ambassador Tuga, was in Niamey, where he met with the top officials of the General Chiani government, where they said they will resume their, what have you, combined multinational joint task force operation in order to comb and defend the border areas. But beyond that, our own operatives at the exit and entry points, it is time to also provide them with enough welfare, enough gadgets. Unfortunately, when you go to border areas like Chikanda, Tabera, in Kwara area, Babana, Benin Republic, Gamborungala, Chad, Jibia, Niger, and also of others, including Taraba to Cameroon, you hardly find 8 hours drone roaming, which is not supposed to be. These are areas they need intelligence network now, rather than sitting in Abuja enjoying air condition. Like I always say, Mr. President is President and Commander-in-Chief. He cannot be there to do job of a station officer of the police. He cannot be there to do job of commanding officer of a battalion. He cannot be there to do job of flag officer commanding of naval base.
Let me comment at this point now, because two things right here. You talked about the fact that our borders are porous.
Absolutely.
Which is very dangerous. Now, are we trying to say these terrorists are foreigners that come from other countries?
I want to tell you with due respect, most of these foreigners in Kwara, terrorists in Kwara, Niger, Borno, Yobe, they are foreign mercenaries sponsored by some foreign people. You can see President of the United States, Donald Trump, when he disbanded U.S. aid and exposed certain secrets. So there is foreign conspiracy. Don't forget, at a time we were told that by 2015, Nigeria is going to disintegrate, which never happened by the grace of God, due to prayers of imams, pastors, and also other things, which made the labor of our heroes past not to be in vain. So that is why I'm telling you, at this point in time, all hands need to be on deck. It is not a matter of playing politics with our security, no. Whether you are PDP, Labour Party, APC, Social Democratic Party, we all need to come, because if you don't have security, there can be educational development, there can be healthcare delivery, there can be human capacity building, there can be power stability, there can be every delivery of dividends of democracy. So we should now forget our party affiliation. Let us come together. Issue of security, let us do it together, because we are not praying to become South Sudan. We are not praying to become Sudan. We are not praying to become Somalia. That is why now we need to come together, Muslim, Christian, Fulani, Hausa, Yoruba, Ibibio, Ishekiri, Yoruba, Boko, Barubatonu, to see how we can contribute. And for the inhabitants at the receiving end, they should please. They also have roles to play, because there is ownership involvement where some of them, okay, let me give you an example of Kayama local government area of Kwara State and Babana local government area of Niger State. As our military and police officers are carrying out the onslaughts in bushes of Kemanji, Karonzi, Nukuzi, Nanu, Ilesha, Baruba, and other areas and what have you, what they are now doing, there are illegal mining sites in Babana under Kayama local government where they are now going, the bandits and terrorists, bearing their arms, mixing up with people. So this is another privileged intelligence report to the army, police, and DSS officers carrying out the onslaught in Kwara North. They are fleeing as the firepower is getting to them, beyond them. They are now going to mix in mining site areas. So the security forces should also spread their tentacles and searchlight on mining sites under Kayama local government, under Babana in Borgu local government and Agwara local government in Niger State, Shiroro and also. So most places where illegal mining is happening, these people are there. They go there as the onslaught is being carried out by our combatant and gallant security forces. They are hiding a mix of people.
All right, let's, it is still the desk right here. We're talking about the security situation and, of course, the fact that the president has reaffirmed his commitment to this cause. We've heard from my guest what is happening, what needs to be done, what is being done that needs additional tactics, intelligent informations, and of course getting the right apparatus to combat these terrorists is very important. Let's go on a quick break. When we return from this break, we will get to know what the security vote, which form a chunk of the budget, is being used for. Are the governors doing enough, or something is wrong somewhere? We'll talk about that when we return from this break. In case you're just joining us, it is the desk, and of course, we're talking about the fact that the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has reaffirmed his commitment to the security situation in the country. And I have with me my guest today, who is the Director of Security Salute Nigeria Initiative, in the person of Saliu Dantata Mahmoud. And of course, we want to talk about the security vote that is being given to governors. In Benue State, for instance, Governor Hyacinth earlier at a point, I think in his recent press briefing, he said he needed assistance from the federal government. And of course, Nigerians are asking questions. The money being voted for security in the state, is it judiciously used? Are Nigerians getting value for this security vote, or does it mean there is no insecurity, or the people are not doing enough? I'm talking about the governors now, who are the chief security of the state.
With due respect to the governors, they have been hiding under the guise of saying security lies in the purview of the federal government, forgetting that they have roles to play by complementing. How was Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu able to complement effort of the federal government in securing Lagos State from 1999 to 2007? How was Peter Obi, as governor of Anambra State, able to do that? How were other governors in South able to do that? You see, you cannot play politics with security. If, for example, you don't have enough, the little you have you channeled it to assisting? No. Even though some of them have started waking up from their slumber, with due respect to them, they also have roles to play by complementing. For example, it doesn't take you anything to periodically procure eloxys and certain things, gadgets, for the police, for the, if it's a riverine area, for the Navy in your area, for the Air Force, for the Army, for DSS, Civil Defense, and others. But outside some few states, tell me how many states. But they come on pages of newspaper doing the blame game. Your security vote is not for you to charter aircraft. You want to leave maybe from Makurdi to Abuja, you are chartering aircraft. Or you want to leave maybe Zamfara to Lagos, you are chartering. Maybe you want to leave Anambra to Asaba Delta, you are chartering aircraft. Or you are engaged in foreign trips to Dubai in the guise that I'm going to look for investors. Who will come and invest when you have insecurity? So I think with due respect to governors, even though some of them are living up to expectation, the little security report, security vote available before them, they should complement the effort of the federal government by securing their state, southwestern states, because they don't want insecurity to pervade them. They form joint Amotekun. Same way you see them in Ondo, you see them in Ogun, Lagos, Ekiti, and the other states.
Meaning you're in support of vigilante?
No, what I'm trying to tell you is, there is what you call OI, which I tell you. We also have contributions to do. Amotekun are not just mere vigilantes. Even though they are not mainstream security, but at least the governors have played a role, even though sometimes they are excessive because they don't have codes and they violate their rules of engagement by attaching sentiment. I'm not in a way trying to say state police should come, because some people can mistake it that I'm applauding Amotekun. Why I'm applauding is that other states, even though of recent, North Central said they are going to have uniform security architecture in form of that of Amotekun, North Central. The Northeast too, they have agreed, I think Northwest too. So the issues are those their little security vote. Instead of hiring chartered flights, themselves moving from Germany to all in the guise of doing this and that, they can channel it to complementing the effort of federal government, even though I know they have limited powers on commissioners of police in their state, zonal AIGs in their zone, commanding officers of battalion, base commandant of Air Force, Navy, and what have you. But if there is good rapport, there is a way you will treat them, they will be ready. How come some states like Lagos, even though you cannot compare the IGR of Lagos and other things they get, but the little you have, you can do it. Look at southeastern states. From the activities of unknown government, IPOB and what have you, the economy of certain states, the IGR has gone down because some of these cattle, some of these products from the north and other areas they take there, when they start burning these vehicles that convey them, these people have stopped going. So they can also do a lot of things to curb certain menace. There are certain levels of insecurity where I will give you an example of Kayama local government under Kwara North. When the Mahmuda terrorists wrote letters to them in Karonzi, Kemanji, Nuku, areas that you won't go to farm and Bani and what did they do? They are vigilantes, even though some of them were killed. But they were able to safeguard the areas before federal government got the hint of it. GOC 2nd Division, Ibadan went, the Kwara State Governor Abdurrahman Abdurazak went, before a collective decision. Even the Chief of Army Staff was in Ilori, Kwara State capital. Niger State 2 Governor Umar Bago has been taking steps because there has been clearance exercise in Babana Agora. With this added one from federal government, it is gathering momentum. So the governors also have roles to play in securing their people. It is not in all cases you wait for the federal government. There are formations in your states. In every state capital you go, there is either Air Force Base, Army, Cantonment, or Police Command. Then in every local government, you have divisional headquarters. So if these ones are assisted, they have the gadgets before federal government. Okay, how come on road projects, there are states in the past that never waited for federal government, they rehabilitated roads? Okay, look at now. We are happy of recent, like the Federal Ministry of Works, Dave Umaya and his Minister of State, Bello Goronyo, they said good roads, to some extent, can also help to fight insurgency and armed banditry. How? If there are potholes in certain area, kidnappers can easily kidnap in that area. They came and flagged up Abuja, Kaduna, Kano roads, which they stated that, like now at the time it is completed, those parts of Abuja, Kaduna, where there are potholes, there won't be room for you to go and slow down where bandits can come, even though it has reduced. So what we are trying to say, President Ahmed Bola Tinubu should please also, in accordance with his renewed hope, promises on infrastructure, he is doing well because Coastal Highway, Dave Umaya as Minister of Works said they are going to complete it maybe when, you heard of it. Then Look at Super Highway now that is going to terminate, according to Minister of State for Works, Honorable Bello Goronyo, in Kebbi State. So if these things are there, some of this, let me also tell you, bad roads and infrastructure. Like now, as some of the military boys are carrying out onslaught against these bandits and terrorists in the Niger and Kwara North, Kayama, Baruten, bad roads are also affecting them because majority from, for example, Kanji to Kayama now, between Borgu local government of Niger State and Kayama local government of Kwara State is supposed to be 62 kilometers, but the dilapidated nature of the road makes you spend 4 hours.
Oh, okay, meaning the bad nature of our roads also contributes to the banditry.
They contribute.
All right.
So now, let me conclude. So now, of recent, President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, through the Ministry of Works, the Kishi-Kayama Road, one of the areas that is facing banditry and terrorism, the contractor has swung into action, which the inhabitants applauded the Tinubu administration with the gesture of the Minister Umahi and the Minister of Bello Goroyo. So what I'm also saying, the onslaught, there are certain forest areas where there are not accessible roads. So I think they can carry out visibility studies and ensure that there is connectivity so that our troops will not also face difficulty. Because some of these bandits and insurgents, especially in North Central and Northwest, bad roads are also affecting accessibility and visibility. Even though we have air, what have you, but sometimes the weather is not also favorable to the Nigerian Air Force Air Component Wing. Because you cannot carry out onslaught when the weather is bad.
We're talking about security here, and it's not something we can finish talking about in a day. I was interested in the part where you talked about the fact that the North Central, and the South are trying to put up uniform vigilante, sort of like that of Metokun, to safeguard the people. There are some communities right now that if you go there, you won't see anybody anymore. Everybody have run away. They killed a lot of people, and some of the persons have to run away. They are taking shelter at the local government council right now. What's your thought of self-defense? Because as a matter of fact, the Southern and Middle Belt Leaders Forum have actually called Nigerians to stand up and defend themselves against terrorists and killers and the bandits. What's your thought about self-defense?
Well, like some of the displaced people now in some parts of Benue State, in some parts of Kwara State like Kemanji, who have become IDPs, and some part of Yobe and Borno, Zamfara, Katsina, also is numerous. Like former Chief of Army Staff, as well as Minister of Defense, Lieutenant General T.Y. Danjuma, during one of his lectures in Taraba State, called for first line of defense. Before him, the DG, Department of State Services, in one interagency gathering where the Chief of Defense Staff was there, NSA, the day they pronounced the denial of Chief of Defense Staff of the Canadian visa where they were supposed to go, that was the very day it was unveiled and also other things. You see, there are constraints in first line of defense. It's not every gun that license can be given to the citizens. Is it this then gun that local hunters use that are going to be used for self-defense? Or is it cutlasses when bandits and insurgents are carrying RPG, anti-aircraft missiles, AK-47, AK-49, and other sophisticated weapons? So what are you going to use a tool for self-defense? So it is just theoretical statement. It can't be visible. Why? Because we are not America, where people get gun for pump action, gun, and also for other things, except if they amend that part where they can say certain sophisticated gun can be owned under license by Inspection of Police by the citizens. But I don't see it as a reality. So it's just like theoretical statement. It cannot be achieved. By and large, let the entire security apparatus be restructured, godfatherism removed. The regular combatant officers who received medals, personal parade, presidential personal parades at NDA, should be taken to battlefield because they have the brilliance. That's why they got those medals. For them becoming...
You're talking about those that are retired already?
Not retired.
Okay, those that are in services.
There are certain people that were once cadets in NDA, regular combatant officers, short service, direct short service. They were known for sharpshooting. They were known for skills. Yeah. But you see them working with GOC, Chief of Army Staff, Joint Task Force, again. No, these people have the skills. Take them to lead. We had history of people like late Lieutenant Colonel Abu Ali He was one of the best officers, which you know. We have them, Major Fambia of blessed memory, and host of others. Even though Arotile did not die in battlefield, that woman that reverse killed the Air Force officer, we knew her combatant nature, how she dislodged bandits in Benengwari bushes and what have you. So what we are saying, rather than taking godfatherism, saying somebody is good in the police, army, DSS, let him go and be detailed to this to make money. No. Don't forget, some of them in NDA and Depot, they are trained with taxpayers' money, including police academy and police college. When they are trained with taxpayers' money, you should let these kind of people. Then again, periodical training. Before, some of our cadets used to graduate from Sandhurst.
All right.
From U.S. Academy. Today is no longer happening.
It's no longer
the monies appropriated for it by Senate Committee and House Committee on Defense. Where are they?
We are there. The
Take
same
them
question
for
I wanted
training.
to ask.
Let them mix up.
All right, comrade, we're rounding up now because time is not on our side. But finally, in just some 2 minutes, we've heard in the time past that some governors have even do some form of negotiations with these terrorists. Does it mean these terrorists are known people that can be sat with at the round table to do a negotiation? If they are known, why then the arrest of these terrorists is difficult?
There was a dialogue between them and Kaduna State Governor, His Excellency Ubasani. Then there were Boko Haram repentant class that were granted amnesty in Borno State, don't forget. Some of them are known and some are not known. Like I gave you example, Zamfara, Itato, most of these bandits were hired by illegal miners to guard them. When they got to know the proceed of it, they turned against them. People like Sabubu that was killed and host of others. So the issues are politics, illegal gold mine, and also of other things are attached to that of Zamfara. That of Katsina, even though some people said it is a disagreement between Fulani and Hausa in Sokoto, Kebbi and Zamfara, I do not succumb to that. That of Katsina is communal. Because how many gold sites, mining sites do you have in Katsina? But that of Zamfara is pronounced. That of Borno State, you know how it started 2009 after they killed Mohammed Yusuf under, Yaradua administration. So that one is because of the ideology that being literate is a sin and also further. So when you look at that of Zamfara, Sokoto, Kebbi, Katsina, Borno, North Central and what have you, they differs. Like that of Kwara North in our areas of Kayama, Barote and what have you, they are involved in illegal mines. They are involved in a lot of things. Itato, the Mahmuda terrorists came to Nuku, Karunzi and other areas preaching, even with AK-47, deceiving the people until they start turning against. So experts, especially in the National Security Advisor's Office, Defense Headquarters, Army, Police, and what have you, at this time, their dragnets should be spread, where rather than being in state capital and FCT, let them build sophisticated security channels and apparatus in states and local governments.
All right, meaning, as a matter of fact, I think that's going to be the size of the desk this time. But then so much to talk about, but we can't finish talking about everything right now. Like from what you've said, it means there is need for orientation so that the people can have vital information, intelligence information, and know who is who to mingle with, who to actually come into the community where they are coming from and all of that. Then the responsibility of who to carry out this education is left in the hands of the authorities. The National Orientation Agency have a lot to do educating the people so that they can actually be the #1 security of themselves. Education is very important. Self-defense, like he said, can actually be something, but then can it be practiced in totality? All of these are questions in the heart of Nigerians. Many thanks, comrade, for joining us on the desk
today. Thank you very much for your versatility in anchoring.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
For coming. We hope to have you some other time again.
Anytime, no problems.
All right, this is going to be the size of the desk. And don't forget that the desk will return again, and that's going to be on Wednesday, where we'll bring another very topical issue, because we are here to make sure you have the vital information, education, and of course, knowing what to do and when to do it. My name is Ramsey Enoch Agbo. Many thanks for staying with us on the desk today. Bye-bye for now.